Here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Looting through the rubble, leaving cities war-torn, still incurring war scorn. Ragged and I'm forlorn, trying to unlock this. Open with my lockpicks, punching with my second hand every time the clock ticks.
All right, there you go.
Okay, so we're going to check the audio levels. Give us a moment here. I'm going to tilt the camera up. My hair's flat, but not that flat. Hold on. And yes, I'm very much aware I'm not wearing the shirt I'm supposed to be wearing. I've been trying to wear this lock shirt, but at least I'm wearing a spooky shirt, so that's a good thing. So, hi everybody. After yet another delay, because, you know, it can't be a DCG 201 live stream unless there are massive delays due to my idiocy. Welcome to this live stream. So, start off everything. Who the hell am I? I'm Sidepocket. That's what people refer to me on the interwebs. I'm one of the two co-founders. Why'd I put my thumb up? I just did the German 3. Two co-founders of DCG 201, formerly known as DEF CON 201 or DC 201. We are one of the many DEF CON groups across this nation of the United States as well as around the world. Our 201 stands for our area code, in which we are located in New Jersey, specifically in Jersey City, New Jersey. And normally we meet third Friday every month. I know I sound like a broken record here. Due to me starting a second job and having my obligation to be here in the void right now, which is my new super secret hacker hangout, was unable to do an actual meeting, so instead we pushed everyone towards our sister group, who are absolutely fantastic across the Hudson River at DCG 212, aka the New York group. And this month, I can tell you right now, we are going to meet in person. That's a guarantee. We are going to bring back Hacktoberfest. We are more looking into either doing it on the 14th or more likely the 28th, because the normal third Friday of the month is during PumpCon, and we've had too many people complain in the past of choosing to go to our meet or the Friday night of PumpCon out in Philly, which I also want to attend. So we're thinking of putting a week back, so it'll be meeting like basically towards the end of the month, just to accommodate those. But it'll be Hacktoberfest. We'll be doing a lot of awesome dev and coding stuff. It'll be great. If you want to get more announcements of that type of stuff, again, which is part of Hacktoberfest, is that we are rebuilding our website. So we direct everyone in the meantime to our blog at defcon201.medium.com. We are also all over all different types of social media. Our most popular ones are Twitter at defcon21nj and just plain old defcon201 on Instagram. But we're on all sorts of stuff. We're on the hostducks social instance of Mastodon. We are on GitHub. We are on minds.com. We're on all sorts of things across the interwebs. And I just posted in chat a Linktree address, which is that linktr.ee/defcon201, where you can find a master list of not only all of the social medias that we have and all of our activities, but also other live streaming links that you might be watching right now. And finally, before we get into today's episode, two quick house cleaning stuff. If you like the content that you see today, whether you're watching this live or pre-recorded, you can always like, share, and subscribe completely for free on our three main platforms, Twitch, DLive, and YouTube. When we're streaming, we get pop-up notifications and cheer people on. And at the end of the episode, I'm going to quickly look through who has been following us while we're offline and shout them out as well. We are also on a couple of other live streaming platforms. Our favorite is Diode Zone, which is an amazing instance of PeerTube that will also that is just completely science and tech focused, and we absolutely love them. And on the opposite side, we unfortunately are also streaming on our Facebook group, because you have to go where the people are. If you are on Facebook and you do want to chat with us, because Facebook is a coded piece of shit, you kind of have to some degree hack Facebook in order to get chat to work. So I just posted a link to go to, if you're on Facebook, to go where you can chat with us. It's actually kind of private. I won't know what your real name is or whatever name you put on Facebook. It'll just show up as Facebook user, but you'll be able to chat with us. Last but not least, and I will bring this up throughout the episode and during the night, all of our streams all the way until the planned end of October, we are going to be raising funds for the National Abortion Federation. I know abortion, big scary word, but hear me out. Is never mind that it's screwing over half of Americans who have uteruses, whether they are cis women or trans men or any type of thing in between. If you have a uterus, our government hates you right now. Never mind also that those people have spouses and family members and partners and married to people who don't have uteruses. But as Binary Badger said, and hi everyone out there, I'm going to say hi to everyone in a moment, basic human right. Due to the U.S. SCOTUS ruling, a lot of people don't realize that even if you don't fall in that category of American populace, there is an overall privacy rule, and this is true, where part of the main core of Roe v. Wade was it was pitched as a privacy thing. So basically, with that out of the way, the U.S. government can extend the Patriot Act in order to legally spy in your living room. They will claim it's because they're looking for illegal reproductive activity, which already sounds scary enough, but they will essentially use that excuse. It's like the same way where if a cop wants to arrest a hacker, they find them on a speeding ticket charge. It's never the actual thing. That's what they can now do to you in your own home, no matter who you are. You could be a single cis gay man living in the middle of Montana, and they'll just be like, "You're doing baby things," and raid your house. It's really that bad. So us at DCG 201, we are always for privacy and security stuff, and the National Abortion Federation is probably the longest spiel that we do here. Even though it has that big scary word in it, they are covering not only all reproductive rights, so condoms, sex education, things like that across America, things we lack, including internet and in-person infrastructure, I might add. It's just patches of Kubernetes and that's it, including in real life. But they are also sending boots on the ground, and kind of like the way the EFF operates, they also have a whole legal division, so they're attacking both things at the same time. If you are interested in donating, and we already have a couple of bucks in, our goal is 400, but even if we don't make the 400, any money that is there now in the future when it hits November 1st will all go towards the National Abortion Federation. So don't worry about not hitting the goal. You can be amazing and donate like $1 billion, but even if you have $5, $10, $1, $3, every time we've reached our goal and surpassed our goal in the past, it's because people keep just sending $1 or $5 until it just inevitably buffer overflows. And there's 3 different ways you can primarily donate. We're using Tiltify, which is I promise I'll be done in a moment. Tiltify, which is I can't speak today, is a reputable third party, so that way, because we know we're hackers, so we don't want to let you think that we're just grabbing the money and run away. What do you think we are, a crypto pump and dump scheme? You are wrong. We have more morals than those people. So they're a reputable third party that work with many charities, including the National Abortion Federation. So 3 ways you can interact is we promise this is not a phone hack. This is the official QR code that Tiltify gave us. So if you're on your phone, you can scan it, and I promise you, hacker promise, it's going to send you over to their page to donate. If you are on Twitch, you can scroll down. There's a little widget where you can directly donate without leaving this live stream. Or if you're on any of the other platforms or all of that shit doesn't work, I just posted the link in chat. I will be posting the link throughout the live stream. And yeah, I think now we're good to go in the main episode here. So, what is this show? Well, basically, in addition to, which we are hopefully going to get to later this month in October, because especially since it's spooky season, it's one of my favorite months. In addition to normally streaming our meeting stuff when we can, we also stream cool special stuff that happens in the hacker world. In fact, we're going to be adding more shows soon from other people who have pitched things to me. But I have 2 main shows that have been mostly consistent since the pandemic started in March 2 years ago, and the dumpster fire that's 2020. One of them is Crypto Barons, which normally, and I'm going to say this right now, we normally would have streamed that on the 8th because that's the 2nd and 4th Saturday of the month. However, due to a bunch of different factors, including a holiday, I'm going to say this right now, we're probably either we might stream on the 9th or probably streaming on the 10th. which is Christopher Columbus Day, which would be awesome because then I can bitch about Christopher Columbus most of the stream. But that's here or there. We'll get that, and we'll announce that later on this week. This show is called, as you can see the logo in the corner, The Master of Unlocking, where it's my favorite hobby. It's also one of our most popular shows, where I, as a member of TOOOL, the Open Organizational Lockpickers, that is TOOL, TOOL with 3 O's. I'm actually going to type this in chat because eventually I'll have to put this in my notes so I can copy-paste it over. And also congratulations to the Open Organizational Lockpickers because they redid their website in a really genius way. But as a member of them, and as someone who's done instructing through various hacker cons and meetups, including our own meetups, I like to talk about physical security. I like to look at locks. I like to study how they work, find design flaws in them, and then use various tools and techniques to pick and bypass those sort of security measures, like picking locks or bypassing a door, shimming a door, a thing like that. And you probably will notice something that I'm going to call attention to in a moment, but I do want to talk about today's episode. So, it is spooky season, and I know what I'm doing later in the month. I'm right now negotiating a thing that we were originally going to do as a Pride episode back in June, that because that person got super busy, because it's Pride, we decided that we would try to do this again in October instead of waiting to next Pride, due to one, the nature of their activity that I'm going to bring on the show, and two, because of a major amazing announcement that right now they are blowing up everywhere. So I know I've been hinting a lot at stuff, but stay tuned for that one. I wanted, though, to have 2 episodes that were spooky, and so I was racking my brain this week trying to figure out what to do, and this is how sometimes we get some of the best episodes of Master of Unlocking, where I'm like, I don't have anything in the mail right now. There's no locks or tools in the mail yet, due to a bunch of different things. I've had this in the past as well, and I'm like, I don't know what to do, and then I'll either stumble on something or wander into a store and find something. And lo and behold, I was walking in Jersey City past the gas station, and I found possibly one of the hilarious and scariest things you could possibly see, which is this cable lock that is a master lock. And in fact, if I can quickly look at my notes again here, I believe in particular this is because the problem with this is that master lock makes so many different variants of this that I sometimes cannot keep track on the different product numbers that this particular design has. So this is a master lock 8154DPF, and I just want to note that not only is that a goddamn mouthful, but that I am actually guesstimating here because I have seen these. So I'm gonna do something, and I'm gonna let the AI bot know something overhead. So, like I predicted, I have like 1 billion viewers watching, even though I had to delay this. So, just letting you know. And now the AI bot is floating off into the sunset, carrying data across the Tor network. Cool. So, I see these being sold a ton. And so that is my guess, because there's many different variants of this. Mainly the variance comes from the thickness of the cable, and I believe this is the thinnest one, which means that model, which, mouthful again, is the Masterlock 8154DPF. I almost keep saying PDF by accident. If I do that at one point, just let you know, Masterlock's number scheme. Ugh. But this is a type of, some people use this as a bike lock. It's used to secure a lot of things. This and the Python, which I did many episodes ago, I often see these in public areas in downtown and other restaurants throughout Jersey City, where they have public chairs, and instead of bringing them all into the restaurant or whatever, they just, because there's like a metal pole literally sticking out of the sidewalk, they just loop the chairs through and hook them on, often terribly. You can still a lot of times sit in the chairs, which is why they also have rent-a-cops going around saying, hey, you can't sit there and stuff like that. And I have, and especially considering how unscrupulous this gas station is, I don't know why this was just sitting in the middle of the gas station. It was literally on the border between the sidewalk and entering the gas station. So I don't know. I mean, this would take a lot for it to snap and fall off because, as you can see, it's like solid. I know you can't really focus here with this camera, but it's like solid steel sort of banding here with this giant, thick rubber insulation. Or what I think happened, which is that someone cut through it. And of course, this is not the blade that you would cut through it with, but I just wanted to show as an example of a blade. This is probably bolt cutters, if anything, or like a mechanical saw. But someone decided that they didn't have the keys, or they went fucking crazy and went, fuck it, we'll do it live. And or were just turned into the Incredible Hulk or She-Hulk and just snapped the cable. And I find that fascinating because in the last episode we did cover the bike lock. And so what I'm more curious about is it's going to be one of the shorter episodes where we're going to quickly explore, did they make the right decision of snapping this, or if someone on their team knew actually how to pick locks, would it have been more like easier, better, more convenient to pick this open and reuse the cable again? So we're going to find out, because most people would be like, well, duh, you just pick the stupid thing open, it takes 5 seconds. But, you know, sometimes I often get told, oh, try this lock, it's super easy, and it turns out to be the hardest goddamn thing because everyone has different learning skills and stuff, and also I'm just an idiot. So we're going to see with my beginner side of intermediate going into mid-intermediate experience with locks, if I can pick this open, and if I can we get to a time where A, we could have picked it open, and 2, that we could have just opened it and, hold on a second, cancel, and we could have reused this lock again even though we didn't have the key, or maybe even decode what the key is. Before I get into, because what we're going to do is we're going to take a very short, like about 1 minute break so I can redo the camera setup, so you won't see my face again, unlike last time, because I'm still trying to find the other camera to do dual cameras. So it's just going to be, it's lockpicking, it's like every other lockpicking video. In a minute, you're just going to see my hands and hear my voice. But before we get into that, I do want to clarify 2 other things. One is that I love an active chat. So already I see Binary Badger in here. I'm going to do some shout out. Dark Arts Lockpicking, aka Dalp from Australia, said hi. Swiggle Dork, which is an excellent username, I might add. I'm kind of jelly of that name. It's in there. Hi, how you do? And many others. I love an active chat. So if you have any questions about what I'm doing, lockpicking, if you want to ask questions to other people in the chat or do conversations in chat, as long as it's not trolling, because a lot of the trolling is really, it's not even I'm offended, it's a lot of the trolling is really lame, and that just gets you perma-banned from everything. But if you want to ask any questions about my hair, my shirt, what the hell I'm doing, what's been going on with the meetings at DC201, does DC201 even exist, feel free to ask in chat. There's no stupid question, there's just a stupid instructor, myself. Otherwise, if you're just here to watch, lurk, watch hilarity of me screwing up usually, and just wanting to learn, as I always say each episode, keep lurking and keep learning. The second thing before we go on our quick 1 minute break to change all the cameras and stuff is that again, I'm part of the Open Organization of Lockpickers. So like every episode, because I almost screwed it up the last time for once, even though this is not a tool endorsed or sponsored stream, there's 2 rules that they have that pretty much every lockpicker worth their salt Locksport person uses, because it just makes too much logical sense. It covers you legally, me legally, you practically, me practically, and all of that goodness. So we're going to go over the 2 rules quick, then we're going to go on a short break with some cool tunes, maybe about a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes, and then we'll be back doing the episode. We're probably going to end at like 11:30 to the latest. But those 2 rules are: 1, do not pick locks that you rely on. The reason for this is because you have no idea how many times when I do instructions, I'll answer that in one moment, so we'll go dark. But I just want to get through these 2 rules, trust me. Where I teach someone a technique, especially if they're first time learning locks, and immediately, even though I've already said this rule, they want to try picking their front door lock, or their lock at their gym, or their luggage lock, or their school locks, or whatever. Don't do that. Multiple reasons. I'm going to list off a few quick ones. There's many. One, you have a risk always, including myself, of breaking your tools in the lock. You also have a risk of breaking that lock. And in fact, every time you pick or bypass the lock, it's more susceptible for that technique. Eventually wears down the mechanisms. My favorite is when you both break the lock and the tool you're using to pick the lock at the same time. It's just a very bad idea because you are actively using that lock. So don't do that. Do not pick locks that you rely on. And second of all, do not pick locks that you don't own. Whether this episode, past episodes in the future, if you're walking around your town and you see, for example, the lock we're covering here, this cord lock, and you're like, hey, that's Master Lock 180, blah, blah, blah. I happen to have the tool of blah, blah, blah to get... Don't do that. Because even if it's a really shitty lock, there's a reason why someone put a lock on that thing. They want to protect something. It's also, again, you don't own it. Back to rule number 1. So you are automatically trespassing. This is bad mojo for the cops. This is bad mojo for the people there. It's just not a great idea. So covering these two again. Do not pick locks that you rely on, and do not pick locks that you don't own. Again, do not pick locks that you rely on, and do not pick locks that you don't own. Every lock that you see on the show, I do not personally use outside of learning, teaching people, including myself, how to pick locks and how to further our skills in lockpicking. They literally exist there just to do that. They do not lock anything, and I own them, and because I own them, I give the leeway to everyone else to try picking them because I own them, and I can decide that, and I also don't use them to lock anything. So we good? We kosher? We haram? Great. Real quick, Swiggle Dork says, how have you done much lockpicking? That's a hilarious question. So believe it or not, I actually knew people in the open organizational lockpickers and other forms of lock sport way before I got into it myself. Kind of a sad thing. So my mom was originally into lockpicking lock sport. I brought her because she wanted to attend one of the computer hacker meetings in New York. It was actually Hackers on Planet Earth many years ago, and when she got it, because she hand sewed, she immediately picked up on it, and that became her new hobby. And you know how like old people normally like knit and watch those shows? My mom would pick locks and watch those shows, and unfortunately she passed away in 2016. Let me rephrase that because I want to be more real. She died in 2016, and we actually had her lockpicks at her funeral. That her lockpicks went with her. And ever since then, I had my instructor friends teach me how to lockpick because, and it's a long story, I'm not going to get into it. In the same way, me playing Tetris, I feel closer to my grandma. Picking locks makes me kind of reconnect to my mom that's not there. So that's kind of that. I'm going to answer a little bit more in the chat because I do want to get through this episode. Lockpicking question. Next steps to learn. I've got a Lockpick Extreme Progressive lock set. Awesome. They are a really good set, by the way. But they're far too easy. Fair. So you've probably... have you timed yourself? Like, tell me in the chat if you can, if you want to, the average time you have between each of the cylinders, especially 5 and 6. However, there's too big of a jump between those and... Oh, God, the ABIS 7... Yeah, no, because that's like a 7-pin... Like a 7-8-pin lock. They annoy me, too. Trying next. I have a repinning kit. Should I swap out all the pins in one of those practice slots for spools or other security pins? Or okay, so a couple of things with that. One, you could do that. I think honestly that is probably the more one you have to know disassembling locks, repinning locks, and doing that really well. Which I more suggest getting the Sparrows repinning kit and like Schlegs and just practicing all the time. That would be my recommendation. Second of all, to learn, and I teach that because I have a very regimental set. At Sparrows, to me the best way to learn security pins, because it sounds like you're being hung up on security pins, you can either A, get the 4-pin set from TOOOL. They actually sell spools 1 through 4. What helped me even more was at Sparrows, they have cutaway locks where you can get one with all spools and one with all serrated. And then watch videos about them and practice. The thing also about locks too is that even if you know how to defeat security pins, even if you know how the bidding, like what pins are in there and the bidding heights to some degree, every lock, even in the same model production line, like on the factory line, 2 locks on the factory line, same maker model, will have completely different binding orders or particulars about them. Something is different between both of them. So trust me, it can be. This is actually why there's been, even though I like it too, criticisms about the Lockpickers Unite, aka our lockpicking belt system, which LockNoob actually brought up, which is because they have a very specific list of locks of different difficulty ranks. But you can literally, for example, I actually had this with a Master Lock 175, but you can get a Master Lock 175 or a Master Lock number 3 and have it botched, so it actually becomes way more challenging to open. Things like that, which is why progressive practicing sets are really good. And I would say that once you get your hang of your security pins, and also big thing, this will always kill you, tensioning. Practice different tensionings on different types of locks. Hard, really hard tension, soft tension, trying to figure that out. Every time I haven't been open the lock, it's because I've screwed up the tensioning on it. Once you get that, go to that ABIS and keep practice. If you know how to disassemble and repin it, and you're going to do that, I think literally the best way to do it, because this is actually how I'm currently learning, because I'm trying to get better at it at the Master Locks American Locks 700s and 1100s, is you take that ABIS and you disassemble it exactly in the exact pin order, bidding order, and you put the first key pin, driver pin, spring, put the lock back together, and focus picking on that just so you can get the feel. And then just keep adding pins until you get the whole set in that ABIS, and you'll be good with that ABIS. Then figure out the overall particulars of that lock, because if you get another ABIS from that series, another ABIS 7240, it's going to feel slightly to almost completely different. So you need to know how to just pick locks in general rather than focusing on just that particular model that you have. This is why we often, lock sporters, especially instructors, end up just having a collection of a ridiculous amount. I have more Master Lock number 3s and 140s and everything and American locks than I can count. And that's when things get really heavy and really expensive. So just putting that. Yes. Yep, no 2 locks are the same. I'm just catching up in chat here. 5 pins in 3 seconds. Okay. See, I'm glad that you brought up the Lockpick Extreme, because what I like about Lockpick Extreme is that not only do you get more pins as you go up the number stack, but if they did it right, each bidding is different. Because the thing about Tools, and Tools is an excellent set. They're also the only one that comes with a 1-pinner, which is very useful for instructors like me. But the thing about Tool is that they fit the same key in a progressive set, which is good if you're an instructor, because it makes things easier, because you just have to worry about the one key. But I know a lot of people who feel like gods when they figure out, even subconsciously, what tools set. That they just remember the first, let's say they moved on to like the 5-pin, they remember the first 4 pins, and then they just add the 5th pin. So it's more easy, my opinion, once you realize that, to get that through. The thing about Lockpick Extreme is that not only do you get more pins with the difficulty increasing with that number, but they also change the bidding. So the 2-pin set, in addition to only having 2 pins, is really flat. By the time you get to 6 pins, it's high, low, and they do something crazy with that. So the fact that you're eating through those that fast is a great sign. I would say if you're used to that for like a week or so, definitely learn how to do security pins, spool pins, and driver pins. I did videos way back that you can look through in the archive on YouTube, and soon PeerTube, to get a look at what those are like. I definitely recommend the Sparrows cutaway ones. Practice your pinning. I would recommend doing quick sets and Schlags. Get the Sparrows reload kit, just because it's awesome, easier to do stuff, comes with all the tools and everything. And when you're used to doing that, go to that ABIS, take it apart, and then do the first key pin, driver pin, spring, the first front of the lock, and go front to back, and learn how to pick through that, and you'll start to get what that is. Does that help? And if anyone in chat, especially to Dalp, because Dalp is a freaking genius, Some of the reasons I'm always afraid of him ever being on the show is because he will literally be able to run circles around me. Also doesn't help that he's Australian, which means that he can probably drink as well as I do. His Australianness will counterbalance my Polishness. But if anyone else has any more advice besides that, go totally of theirs. And the alarm cat in the hacker fort has just gone off. So if you hear meows, that's we have elite hacker cat squad that goes around the hacker compound and literally sniff out illegal packets, and they meow. So just letting you know of that. Also, if a cat jumps up on here, that's because the cat has sensed some sort of malicious activity on our end and will take over the keyboard and shut the stream down. So just letting you know about that. So, yep, elite kitty, as someone said. So yeah, if that's out of the way, I just want to point out one last thing, and I promise we're getting to this. We're going to spend at least, I'm thinking 10-20 minutes on this cable, because I have work tomorrow. Actually, I have two jobs tomorrow. Yay. Yeah, no, Dark Arts Lockpicking and Lockpicking Dev are amazing. I'm so glad that they're in chat. Hi to you guys. I have no idea what time it is over there. I love that I start super late because of an error on my end, and I have like the most amount of people that I've had in the past 2 months. Yay! But one quick thing. So for those of you who have been playing the home game and watched the stream, you probably might notice something a little different right now. I'm going to give everyone 30 seconds at max in chat to figure out what, even if you haven't been watching, you've probably seen the opening. Something's changed around here. And I've been in the Hacker Fortress Void, so that doesn't count. Can anyone in chat see what changed here? Yeah, hi Lockpicking Dev. No, I would totally love to do a video. I still want to. The plan still for New Year's Eve or New Year's Day or going in is I want to open up like a Zoom or more accurately a Big Blue Button or Jitsi or whatever, and just have as many lockpickers on there. They can even send pre-recorded videos if they can't make it, and just feature like as many people in the community as I can live. But yes, Chirel. I hope I pronounced your name right. Chirel. Inside window on desktop. No, that's been around for a while. I made everything look like it's a 1995 desktop. Thank you. 2 p.m. Monday over there. 2 p.m. Monday, that's going to be my second shift of job number 1. I will be dead. But yes, new logo. And in fact, I'm going to quickly switch over to desktop mode, and then we're going to go on our minute break here. So you can see, because I have it up. Yep. So the intro is a work in progress. It's not the exact way I wanted. In fact, I had a completely different graphic in mind, and overall I'm gonna reshoot everything because you have to understand. Kyrell, thank you. Okay, also sounds like Superman's cousin. It's a really cool name. And now you can also see our file pathway. Not that you can hack in here because that's impossible. But let's do that. There we go. That makes it a bit more clean. But yes. So the thing about Master of Unlocking is that now, to me, the DCG 201 logo, even though I had to quickly remade it at one point because we did a quick name change, is flawless. That actually shows you how good the logo is, that I had to redo the lettering of the logo, and it still worked. When we had to do special interest shows, the first 2 that were pitched and brought up was this one show, Master of Unlocking, and an old show run by N Commander, who now runs his own really successful YouTube channel. This show, him doing our live streams was kind of training for his. I'm really proud of him. Is Hack All N Commander, and that's why those logos were the shittiest logos. And to be honest, Master of Unlocking, despite being like the most popular show outside of our specials and meetings, and is the one that draws in the most amount of crowds, had the shittiest logo. Now I'll quickly tell you what that logo is. It's a slightly modified version of the font for the movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And it worked, but it just, as I started creating logos for other SIG shows and special events, and when we attended HackerCons, it just irked me of how... Have you ever admired an artist that draws like crazy-ass Renaissance stuff, like just absolutely berserk, amazing stuff? And then just as a shits and giggles, they showed like a drawing they did in first grade, and like the nose is 8 miles away from the face. That's what the Master of Unlocking logo looked like to me. Like, I knew I could do better. I just didn't have the time. And it was just, to quote Patrick Starr, it was just staring at me menacingly. And I was like, you know what? Even though I don't have any time, I do have time. And I'm going to redo this logo. And what I had in mind, trust me, we're going to get to the episode. Don't worry. Just want to explain the logo because this was a lot of time today. This was like 2 hours, believe it or not. Mainly looking up fonts. I had an image in my head of the main thing, the Master of Unlocking. So I know I wanted an M and a U, and I had this idea of a lock that was upside down unlocked, where the shackle became the U in unlocking, and there would be a letter M in the body of the lock. And I just didn't know how to do the rest. I knew the words would come out the side. Fun quick thing, if you think that's the Master Lock logo font, it's not. But it's close, because I don't want to emulate that font because, you know, Master Lock is the Microsoft of locks, and I don't need their legal team on my ass. In fact, I can actually quickly show on the camera here, where you can see how it looks similar, but it is not the same font. So I am scot-free with that. I have for use. And then the unlocking font is just a nice utility thing. And the red M, I wanted something fancy. The and the of annoyed the crap out of me. Again, there might be some changes in a month or so. I'm still tinkering with it, but that's the logo. I also like it too because in the future, I will be able to throw up, kind of like how Lock Noob just has the L and the N. I'll be able to throw the upside down lock with the red M without the or the of, and that will be like the logo. So yeah. So anyhow, we're gonna probably spend 10-15 minutes on the main episode, just because it's gonna be a big experiment. I'm gonna take a minute break here, and I'm gonna go back to the face to just reset up the camera so that we can see everything. You won't see my face. It's just gonna be my hands, like a lock-picking lawyer, Bosnian Bill. Dark arts and lockpicking dev sort of thing where it's just hand porn. So you can listen to music for about a minute. I'm going to rehydrate, set up the camera. We'll be back and we're going to see, we're going to do an autopsy of this slasher victim, as I wrote in the description, and see, was it a good idea that they just said fuck it and they cut this, or could, if they had the tools and the knowledge, pick this open as faster and save and repurpose this lock. And again, if anyone has any questions or advice, you can take in chat. So give me a moment. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Enjoy the music. Alrighty then, we should be back here. We're going to quick desktop mode just because, once again, I'm just admiring the logo over here. I'm also going to get up and chat for a bit. I do want to take some quick time once again to let people know, because this is the website right here, that yes, we are still raising funds. We're going to be raising funds all the way into the end of October for the National Abortion the National Abortion Federation. As you can see, the website over here. If you haven't heard, if you're not from the United States, I envy you right now, depending on where you are. But basically, they did a ruling with Roe v. Wade, and it's a war on anyone with a uterus. It's really bad. You can probably look up endless articles or Wikipedia if you want to be more accurate about what's going on. And, you know, a lot of people are like, what does this have to do with hacking? Well, one, there's a lot of computer hackers who have uteruses, who have spouses and who are married to or dating people with uteruses. If you want to be more traditional, women is also a group of people who have uteruses, so just putting that out there. And even if you don't have a uterus, like myself, I think, you never know, there is a, due to the, our SCOTUS, aka our Supreme Court, being a bunch of dickwads and wanting to bolster the Patriot Act even more than it already is, because the core of Roe v. Wade was decided upon due to privacy rights. It's actually rolled back privacy for every single American, regardless of background, in which now they can spy on you even more, just by saying baby stuff and just raiding your house. Like this has literally happened recently. So because we are very, pro privacy, pro security here, because we're fucking hackers. We are raising funds for that. If you're willing to donate like $1 or $5 or even $1 billion, I just put in chat, which I'll be doing throughout the stream, the link where you can donate. It's handled through Tiltify. It's a reputable third-party source, and even if we don't reach our $400 goal by November 1st, all the money currently donated and all the money that has been donated will still go to the charity organization directly. So you can click on that link. You can scan that QR code in the corner. Or if you're on Twitch, you can scroll down and there's a little Tiltify widget where you can donate directly. In addition to following, and subscribing completely for free on Twitch, DLive, or YouTube, if you donate any cash while we're streaming, we also get a notification. And if you think a shout out's really cool from me when you follow us, especially if you hit that bell and turn all notifications on YouTube, because YouTube is a poorly coded piece of shit. Ask Google. They just closed Stadia, for example. Which should have been a surefire hit, but it's Google. When you do donate, I basically worship you during the entire live stream, even if it's just $1. So just note about that. Even if we're not streaming, you can still donate, and we have a lot of fun streaming stuff coming up all month, including our main meeting that will hopefully get some good money to help the boots on the ground, as well as the legal team over at the National Abortion Federation, which also, by the way, helps reproductive rights and also things like sex education and condoms. So it's way more than just abortion. It's just anything to do with your genitalia, which the government should not be in charge of, in the same way that the government should not be in charge of encryption. So putting all that out there, any bit helps here. Also, by the way, real quick, just as an alternative, if there's also an awesome website called abortionfunds.org, where if you don't want to donate to a giant big organization, you can also donate here and show us the receipts, and we'll still shout you out. So without further ado, I'm going to go back to face chat, and then I'm going to go to the questions here. So let's see. Too busy. Oh, awesome! Wow. Okay, that was a donation. Thank you. Let's see. Shirel for the $20. Thank you so much there. Thank you. This will help out a bunch. It's nice to start spooky season off right away. Again, if you have any questions or advice, just let us know. Thank you out there on YouTube. Also, again, if you haven't done so yet and followed us on YouTube, you can do so, and we get notifications during that for the live stream. Thank you. Wait, the smart people are right. Yeah, okay, here's the thing. One, there's a lot of dumb people out there, and two, when smart people are dumb, like myself, and get things wrong, boy, do things get fucked over. So it's that combination plus United States. We came from Britain. Enough said. So let's put this out there. All of a sudden, all the paranoia about app tracking locations is no longer just paranoia. Well, it's actually even worse. It's been paranoia for a while. It's just everyone's now noticing because it's affecting them now. Insert Nazi anthem thing about by the time it got to me, there was no one else to defend me sort of stuff, which is why usually hackers are on the front line of this shit. So anyhow, even though I like talking about political stuff all day, because I'm a hacker, let's get into this sort of thing. So like I said, I found this at a gas station, and basically someone, I guess, did not have the key or didn't have the time. Maybe they were trying to take things that fell off a truck, and they took something that, not this, because this is like, I'll even do this right now. I think I cut like barely 1 millimeter into this rubber insulation, and there's also, as you can see, metal wiring. This would be the equivalent of trying to take a chainsaw to a suspension bridge. You're just not going to do it. But if you have the right bolt cutters or diamond tipped electric saw, you cut through this and go, fuck it, we'll do it live. Now the thing about this is that as you can see here, there's a little like red nub thing here. You push that up, and there is a keyhole. And very similar to the bike lock, this is a wafer lock, which once again, I do not have the video for that I would normally display because I've done it on many episodes. But instead of little pins in there, works the same principle, similar principle, with spring tension and everything, except it uses a wafer, which is a flat piece of metal. It's usually in an O shape. And what's unique about it is because there's little nubs where the springs are, you can tension it on either side, which is why if you have like, which is a common use for wafer locks, is like a pair of car keys or a bike lock, like the ones like these keys from this episode, you'll notice that they're usually double-sided. That's because since you can tension them on both sides, you can actually make double bitted keys with double-sided bitting that push and pull the wafers, so meaning you have to pick both sides instead of one if you were lockpick. And so my question is that I want to spend the next like 10 minutes or so at max to see if we can properly attack this lock and to see if we can open it, and if so, how fast we can open it, which means we'll just get this little bit out and we'll quickly realize if it was a good idea that they said fuck it or do it live, or if they actually had the lock-picking skills, even as meager as I am, if they could have just opened this friggin' lock. So I will mention I have two disadvantages here right now. One is I believe I did leave the ball and snowman pick in the Hacker Fortress, but I can't remember where it is. That is my fault. I'm going to go look for it later. I do have this sort of hybrid sort of ball pick sort of thing that we can try out individually and raking, because it's very similar. The thing about it is that you can use normal lock picks, but a lot of lock picks that you get, even when they have rounded edges, they're still designed for like pointy tips, and that is to properly scoop underneath pins. You're dealing with really thin wafers. The metal is usually as thin as a lockpick itself or thinner, so by having a rounded end tip, it's just easier to feel and to push up on wafers than using very pointed picks, in my expertise, which is why if you're like, why the hell is this ball thing in my kit, that's why that's what there's for. We can also try different raking techniques, and in fact, just like the last episode, I have these Goso double-sided wafer rakes that normally go from the Goso 20-piece kit, and they are bitted on both sides, so you can actually rake both sides at the same time. Now, the annoying part of this is going to be the tensioning, and again, the ball rake and the two-split tensioner I don't have, plus with the plastic casing, it dips in pretty far in here, so I don't think I'd be able to use that anyhow because the little prongs won't go down far enough. And I bet you anything that if anything stumps me on this lock in the next 8 minutes, it is probably going to be the tensioning again. And for tensioning, I will take out my thick just to try it. Super long daddy that I usually go for my first go. Bottom of the keyway tension wrench over here. I'm also going to take out this short and stout thick boy right there. But what's probably going to do it for me is going to be these top of the keyway tensioner pry bars, particularly these dog ear flag ones that we're going to try out. Eventually, not only do I want to get better tensioners, I really want to get the ultra thick pry bars, the 0.40s from Sparrows, because I've run into, funny enough, like I know a lot of people, probably because they're usually used to more high security locks, they're constantly getting thinner and thinner tension wrenches and smaller ones. I keep running into bigger and thicker keyways, so I'm probably going to be interested in the super thick pry bars sooner than later. So I'm going to read chat real quick. I do non-destructive entry and cyber penetration training and physical pen testing, also key cutting, RFID cloning, automotive lockouts, and some other locksmith services. Yes, basically Dalp is, he's probably going to yell at me because it's probably too much praise. In my opinion, he's like the Australian Deviant Ollam, which says a lot. So good on you, mate. Cheers for that, for this ginger ale here that I'm drinking. Let's see here. I pick for business. Yeah, 0.50 heavy bars. I'm probably going to get heavy bars soon just because I keep dealing with big, even with pin and tumbler locks, I keep dealing with big. There's literally been locks that I've even picked on the stream where I've taken 2 pry bars like next to each other in order to pick them open. It's been freaking awful. So first thing we're going to try to do is I'm going to figure out, actually the very first thing I should do is figure out how many wafers there are. Now, the thing is that I believe they are keyed both sides, so I'm still going to try the technique, however. So I'm going to take a flat piece of metal, and because of how thick it is, I'm actually going to use the tension wrench this time. And the way you figure out for pin tumblers and even wafers of how many little bits is in there is you put them in there, and then you push all the way up, and then you're going to feel them fall down, and you count. If it's really quiet, and you might be able to hear it on the camera here because I redid the mic, but I will be able to feel it. So let's see if we can hear it, and we're going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's 4, maybe 5. We're going to do it again. I'm not going to count. You're just going to hear it. I believe, let's do it one more time. I think that was 4, but let's do it. Hold on, did that too soon. Oh, I have the wrong angle. Yeah, I did it the wrong angle. Hang on. I had it before. That's what she said. Hold on. Okay, I think there's 4, but there could be 5 in there. Actually, let me try the bottom ones and see if that works. There's 4. I counted 4 in that. Aussie Olam. There we go. Let's see. The most various thickness I have is my turning tools. Yes, exactly. Also, by the way, lockpicking dev, that's what she said. Wink, wink. You can't see my head, but I'm winking here. Not in that way, my dad. I love that now we're talking about thickness in chat. Another thing, by the way, I love about Locksport is similar to running cable. There is legit no way you can talk about this activity without making bad innuendos. It is like literally impossible to do. So, you know, I tell people that because, you know, I've taught 5-year-olds at Liberty Science Center this and stuff like that, and I always have to put that warning of like, hey, I'm not doing innuendos on purpose. It's like, welcome to this hobby. All right, so here's my trickiness here. So I might be able to do it where I can do one pick or whatever on both sides. I might have to tension it, do one side, exchange the tension, which I've done before, and then do another side. But let's see if I can do it on both sides. I'm going to assume most locks go clockwise, but let's try it clockwise first. So we're doing it like this. I have no idea what type of tension we're doing here. Okay, second wafer's in position. I can't really feel the first wafer. Let's go back to wafer 3 and 4. Look, I already sound like lockpicking lawyer already. Okay, 4 keeps falling down. I think 3's in position. Let's try the other side, because the ones I might not feel might be the ones on the other side. Because right now I'm just feeling and picking, and then in a minute or two we're going to try like technically raking this and see if we get a different result. Yes, actually that was so my second thing. Besides that I don't have the proper tension for this, the physical tensioner, I once again left the lock lube at home. I left the Houdini at home. You have no idea how many times, both in my hobbies, in my learning quest, and especially on the stream, you've seen this 3 times on this show, where I have, could not get, I'd be like working on a lock for an hour, especially one that's been used or I find off the street, and it won't open, and then I almost give up, and then I grab the Houdini lock lube, I spray it, and it opens in 2 seconds. So we might revisit this shortly in the future, because I think this in the bike lock I'm going to try to lube up. I'll actually bring the lube with me. There's a little bit of a turn there. And we'll see if that changes anything. So this is no lube, going in dry, trying to get in this dirty hoe lock that I just found off the street in Jersey City. That's why I probably should have titled this. I was trying to go for a horror theme with like the slasher stuff, but yeah, I'm gonna let go of the tension here if any of them dropped. I heard 2 of them. I can't quite tell. I'm gonna try. So that was like actually like medium heavy. I'm gonna try super light and see if anything changes. And again, I usually end up doing 2 types of episodes on the stream for the most part. The core episodes are supposed to be me teaching everyone like different lockpicking techniques of like, you know, hey, disc detainer 101 or how to pick this particular brand or whatever. But lately we've been running into this scenario where it's like, hey, I found a lock. I have never used it. A lot of times I even just keep it in the packaging and we open the package on air and it's like, okay, we're going to figure out how this works live. And I think that's important because, you know, and I've been told this in the past, is that a lot of, you know, lock stuff is pre-recorded. And, you know, that's a good thing. I'm not crapping on any other people, including Dark Arts Lockpicking, who has his own amazing YouTube channel. But the thing about it is that you often, I've had people who are new. I'm going to try raking this next, and then we'll try the tension the other way, or zipping it, basically. I've had... Oh, something's moving. I've had new people where they start out and they're on their master lock number 3 or whatever, and they're just super goddamn frustrated because... you know, everything, this 2-minute video, it shows you can get it in 30 seconds, and they just can't. And I've had people who really like that I live stream these, because even if it's something that I'm easy and used to, you get to see me struggle. You get to see like all the parts fly out when I try to repin a lock, or like try to do like this where I'm tackling a lock that I've never done before, and I get overconfident and think it's going to be easy, and it bites me in the ass. And I've had people like actually like continue picking and be motivated because they're like, wow, if someone who's as good as this, you know, still has accidents and is frustrated, sometimes we don't even get it open on the stream. My favorite episodes are where I can't get it open on the current stream, but then like the next 2 streams I get it open, and then I get to explain why it didn't work last time. It lets people know that, like, hey, which is true, we're all human too. We're all not all of us, except for Lockpicking Lawyer, are super geniuses or gods. We all make mistakes. We all have our own struggles. There are days where I can't even pick a master lock number 3 open, and I find out just because I had a very stressful day, and I sit out and I sleep and I binge eat and I wait another day, and then it opens and I'm like back to my like awesome skills again. Things like that. So I kind of take pride in the idea, if I could have one sin, I take pride that I do fuck it and do it live. And again, I don't have the flat ball pick on here. it's interesting because I do feel the core moving. And one of the interesting things that I want to explore is I know that there's a thing you can do called security wafers. But I have no idea, dead honest, if... I have no idea... I'm going to try it the other way, and then I'm going to try quickly a different tool. I have no idea if, like, what is a security wafer? Like, what makes them security? I know that pins have different, the driver pin and sometimes the key pin have different cuts in them, and that's their security. But what do you do with, and like, for example, disc detainers have like false wheels and, you know, has false discs and traps and, what do you call it, combination locks have false gates. So what are security wafers and what do they do? That's something I haven't been able to take apart a wafer lock that supposedly has security wafers to find out what they do, and I've been too much of a chicken shit to ask. So if anyone knows what is a security wafer and what do they do to the wafer to make it secure, what oh, so wait, there's false gates on the wafers themselves. How the heck does that work? Like, I'm thinking of, like, finding out myself and doing an entire episode of, like, okay, this is actually how they do security with wafer locks. Like, that because I keep hearing that. Especially for, like, the modern versions of the club, because I've been wanting to make a sequel to the club episode that we did a while back. And, like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what makes them secure. Maybe I can take apart one of the modern clubs. I don't know. I'm just trying a different direction, because we actually had that one episode where I was actually on a wafer lock, and I couldn't get it open, and then as soon as I tried, because I didn't know which way the key turned, because it didn't come with the key, and then as soon as I did the other direction, it opened in 2 seconds. So that's why I'm trying both directions here. And again, I'm pretty sure what's probably going wrong with this one is I probably, A, am doing the wrong type of tension pressure, and B, I'm probably don't have the right tool to tension this. I'm going to eventually get a 2-prong one that's thicker. All right, so I think I'm going to go on for like 5 more minutes here. So we're going to try this half diamond. We're doing some more zipping just because it has a lower profile. I want to see if we can get any grounds with that. Because if I don't get this open here, it's just going to be this and the new bike lock I got of like 2 for 2 with the wafer locks have stump side pocket in the Hacker Fortress mode. It's just a little embarrassing, but you know, again, I'm learning. Who remembers the mystery box? That was the first wafer lock that I did on the show that wasn't the practice wafer lock. And remember, I took the entire episode, I couldn't open it. I literally had that box for months. And when I found out, because a friend gave it to me, that's when I finally got the Houdini lock lube. And we sprayed it on air, and it opened instantly. And now I can open it just by thinking about it. I don't even need tools. So, like, this might also be one of those cases. Again, I did find this in the middle of the road somewhere, so who knows. All right, we're going to try the other way here. And then we're going to try... we might try the worm, and we're going to try probably the worm. I don't think strike picks might work for this, although we could try it at the very end, but I think we're definitely going to try the double-ended ones, provided I can tension it right where it fits. Let's see. Some MIWA wafer locks have security wafers. Wondering, haven't touched it. Okay, I'm going to look up that brand and see if I can find anything about security wafers. Because literally I've been trying to look up what is a security wafer. Like, what do they do to a wafer to make it more secure? Like, is it the way they cut? Is it like the spring? Like, what do they do? And I want to know. Because I haven't been able to find it. And my favorite episodes are the ones because, you know, I've covered many locks that I feel others covered, but I take my unique take on it, or like someone hasn't covered it in a while. But I have had 2 episodes where I'm like the first one that did this. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm the first person that ever did the Sparrow's Reload Kit where I actually colored the lock bodies to the keys. And I can't wait to do that. I'm hoping to do the sequel to that with the master pinning system before the end of the year. But I don't know if that's going to happen. Let's try lighter tension here. All right. Half diamond's not working. Now we're going to try the snakes of rakes. I'm going to laugh if a city rake opens, and I'm not going to try it on air tonight, but that would be hilarious. And the reason why I'm going for the worm is because I usually have more success even with pin tumbler locks with what Sparrows calls the worm. And basically what the worm is it's mostly the same to what people call sometimes a triple peak. It's often known as my favorite name, the Bogota. It sounds like a Batman utility. The triple peak's at the bottom, the worm's on the top. And what makes the worm is that the peaks on most triple peaks or Bogotas are extremely harsh and pointed. The worms have it more rounded, and I often find the roundedness not only works generally better for most pin tumbler locks, but works usually really well for wafer locks due to the nature of the flatness of the edge of the wafers themselves. So, also kind of in a weird Halloween theme I keep forgetting is the fact that I'm actually using the creeper set. Which I did an entire episode about getting. That was a fun day. That was actually me upgrading my old kit, which I still have my old case, but it has other tools in it now. Before I continue on, we're going to go on for about 2 to 3 more minutes here. I am going to once again post the link that we are currently still raising money for the National Abortion Federation. It's going to be our charity drive all the way until November 1st. We're doing a lot of different live streams, including this one for that. And even if you're someone who is not in the United States having their uterus assaulted, you do in the United States, by SCOTUS this time, never mind just everyone else. But you probably A, know someone who does, and B, they've now, because of that, expanded the whole Patriot Act to make all the spying for all Americans, see, this is getting in the way now. That's what she said. Even worse. So I just posted the link in chat. If you want to donate $1 or $5 or more, just to be like, hey, I love watching you struggle and cry. Here's some money for the charity that you're doing all month. This charity will be here when we do our second episode, Master of Unlocking, because we do 2 a month. We try to do 2 a month. And you can also scan that QR code in the corner over there. That's for the Tiltify. That's our trusted third party. I swear to God, it is not a QR code phone tab napping bullshit hack. And on our Twitch, if you're on there, because the Twitch is super tricked out, we actually have a Tiltify widget where you can donate directly. And again, it'd be amazing if someone donated, kind of like what Shirel did with his $20 there. Thank you, Shirel, for that. You can be him, and also we have a leaderboard, so you can knock him off the leaderboard for that. Just donate $21, that will do it. Just putting it, not to be against you, Shirel, it's just, I'm trying to raise money here. But, what was I getting at? But a lot of times the way we get to our donation goals in the past is just because a ton of people just donate $1 or $5 or $3, and then it buffer overflows, and we make our goal. And even if we don't make our goal by November 1st, all the money that's currently donated, including the $20 that Shirel donated, will go to the National Abortion Federation regardless, for people to support legally and boots on the ground people with uteruses, as well as just privacy rights in general in the United States, because the United States freaking hates those. See all the stuff going on with Snowden, and it's bad because I've actually met Julian Assange. I'll put it this way lately, I'm not a fan of his, but what they're doing to him is just absolute bullshit, and so this is just all an extension of that. They've been doing this ever since I was a little kid, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Shriver says, I heard on a podcast that in Idaho they are now allowed to discuss abortion in class on college campus, which is hilarious because those are fucking adults. How are you gonna? This is what I mean. It's they're oh, the children, and then they're censoring adults. How do you censor goddamn adults? They're also not even allowed to discuss contraception. You know what's also really weird? Do you know where you can just, if you have certain parameters, you can legally get an abortion throughout this entire country, and you can also talk about it, even though it's sometimes socially frowned upon? Iran. And they're currently protesting right now. That's, to me, the weird part is, first of all, good on them for, throwing bricks. But it's also kind of hilarious if like everyone that I knew that was a fellow American was watching that and just being like, why can't we react like that? Like, well, literally, like the United States government will send like dick slugs to rob our house, and we're just like, hey, we don't like that. And then some other country, they're just like, hey, we've changed the color of our money, and they've like burnt their parliament down. Like, it's like we Americans, we started with a revolution. We need to like step up our game here in terms of this. They say no taxation without representation. Well, we do both, and we also we not only taxation without representation, but we describe it, we disguise it as cryptocurrency because crypto bros, the worst thing in the universe. So I should know because I do a cryptocurrency tech show. All right, so this is not working, so we're going to do our final thing. We're going to try our main thing in an experiment. We're going to try to do these double-sided wafers. Again, I don't know how I'm going to tension it to have both of this fit. So if you get off on me tensioning stuff, good for you. Let me just quickly check in chat. So I feel the same way, not a fan of him, but yeah, he's really being fucked. Yeah, there again, from what I understand, both in Judaism and in Islam, there is certain factors in order to be able to get one, but it is doable. They have very set parameters for that. Christianity, not so much. Christianity, in particular, likes to keep things vague so they can just make up shit all the time. Oh, and the tensioner fell out. So this is why I want the two-pronged ones so that they're out of the way so that the tensioner can do its thing. Let's actually try the thicker triple peak on this side. If I can even fit it. Oop, that got stuck. Oh boy. Here's something else that will often happen is that you will get things stuck in the keyways. Which is never a good thing. Let's actually go behind it. There we go. Okay, this one is definitely not going to move with this type of tensioner. You see what I mean here about this being the problem? Oy. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Now we're gonna get demonetized. Like I make money off of this. That's how you know this is a group effort and a hobby. We make no money off of this. Again, anytime we ask for money, it's always going to charity, which is not a complaint. That's what we'd rather be doing. The same reason of like, we could easily be affiliate or even a partner of Twitch. Same thing with YouTube. We're not because you get locked into either. It's funny because we were actually going to make a public thing about, hey, should we just focus on Twitch or YouTube? Probably more Twitch, and then like live stream on Twitch, and then upload the live streams later on YouTube, edited down like what everyone else does. And right when we did that, Twitch decided to go completely fucking apeshit. They decided to we're not going to do raids anymore. Oh, and we're going to also pay everyone less and shit on everyone and everything. So we were like, okay, that changed our decision right there. I think we'll still stay neutral. Thank you. Well, we're going to be Kazakhstan and stay neutral here. Let's see. Shouldn't you? Oh, yeah, good point. I could try to both tension and pick at the same time with these. See, usually the success I have with these is I have the two-pronged one, but again, I misplaced it somewhere. So, yeah, you know what? I can try. Let's go back to that thick one again. I will try and hopefully not break it with my stupidity. Tension and rake at the same time. Let's see if we get anywhere. And again, there's different types. So I'll do this really quick. These will be the last 2 minutes of the live stream. Since Dalp, Dark Arts Lockpicking. Also note, I don't have his channel offhand. I should put it in my notes at some point. But he does have an amazing YouTube channel, and I know him both. I mean, he kind of is on Twitter, but I also know him mainly through his amazing Instagram as well. So if you're out there, it's the same as his username. Type that into Instagram or YouTube. Definitely follow him. He has a lot of cool stuff going on in there, just to say. So if you think I'm awesome, or if you think I'm really lame and you want something better, definitely check him out. Same thing with Lockpicking Dev, to be honest. One thing I also like about the community is that... this one's getting stuck. Is that I remember being this. I'm even like this now, where I'm just like, hey, is it okay if I say this on here? And it's like, the lockpicking community, despite some people being famous, even the famous ones, we're all like small timers. We're in a small pond, so it's like everyone is encouraged to be a whore. Like if you have a thing, just shout it out. Just don't spam it. But you can, you know, if you have something to advertise that you're working on, are you proud? Like you have a YouTube channel or a workshop or whatever. So it's the same thing in chat. If you have like, if you have a lockpicking channel or something, don't be afraid to shout it out on the channel. Again, I'm more looking out for bad trolls than anything. See, it's funny, Dalp, because your store is down. Our website is down. It's been down for a couple of months, unfortunately. I'm going to try the other way now. So I feel your pain there. We also used to have a store. It's still technically up. I just haven't really cashed out anything from it recently. Should double check it because we've been meaning to redo it because we don't have any of like the show logos for sale because they're all open source and things like that. So like I really need to get back on that. We'll probably open our merch store again in November, and I'm trying before the end of this month, particularly hopefully before our Oktoberfest meeting, try to reopen the website. As I'm trying to get back to some form of normalcy. Let's see. Yeah, no, you can talk about your guild there, and that's one of the things I also want to do with the website. Even if the website was up, all of our ClearNet links, not the Tor links, the ClearNet links, are all out of date. Like 90% of them, except I think like the EFFs and DEF CON groups themselves to some degree, are all out of date. So, you know, I've been thinking of making like a new partner section. I'll be able to list like your website and things like that. All right, one more minute here, because I think we've gone through most of these, and then I want to try one last thing as an experiment. And just like with the bike lock, I'm probably going to be trying this all week, all month. So if I do get this open on a future episode, I'll put that in the preview notes, and I will detail, if I get it open, what I was doing wrong. So the last thing I'm going to do is we're going to try the strike picks, even though they technically... It's not that they don't work on wafer locks, it's that they're not normally advertised to work with wafer locks. But I figured it couldn't hurt. I thought we'd try both sides. Let's try the lower frequency first and just see how they work. So it uses a zipping technique, just like you do with half diamond. So let's see here. The other thing too is that, to be honest, because there's only 4 wafers, it's really shallow. So like, so it's like, you know, I think this is kind of like overkill here, and that's why the strike picks won't work, because they're really designed for like 5-6+ pin doorknobs. Like these are designed for certain like 6-pin like Schlegs and quick sets and other types of door locks that I deal with. They have wide keyways and a lot of pins, and really shitty bitting. So let's try the higher frequency one, and I think we're good for this episode. Because again, I have work tomorrow. Yep. So let's see. So Binary Badger just posted his channel YouTube link. That's cool. He's like, yeah, Dalps is like, yeah, I'm gonna reopen the store once I'm changed to a new hosting server. Oh God, hosting servers. By the way, for our website, we use Linode, and I'm gonna be dead honest. Part of the reason why the website's not up, because I've been like slowly recoding it and redoing the certs, but I also just haven't re-enabled the Linode, however the hell you pronounce it, because it's that late of the night. So that's the, like, I want to do everything else, and then I'll re-enable it, and then the website will be up. So I kind of know your pain about hosting, because every time we made a new version of the website, that was always the first thing that came up, is like, are we self-hosting it again? Do we actually have a person who have time self-hosting? If not, what do we do? What cloud service do we use? Like, what the fuck? We don't want to use AWS, even though everyone else is using AWS. So let's see. See, we were lucky enough to contribute to the press team at DEF CON this year, so You have seen some of our members on the DC channel. Cool, yeah. No, it was really awesome. Like 2 months ago to cover all the lockpicking stuff at DEF CON. In fact, the crazy part, and I've given up now on this lock for tonight, is that as I said on the stream, there was a ton of lock stuff at DEF CON 30 this year. It was like the lock renaissance, and funny enough, there was almost no crypto stuff. And that's why that episode was like a compound episode. We covered another topic, and then we added the DEF CON stuff at the end on crypto barons because there wasn't really anything to cover. But there was a ton of lockpicking stuff. We just did an entire episode of nothing but that. For let's see, we covered it for briefly for B slides. The one huge workshop that's always there but is really awesome by Deviant at Black Hat. And then at DEF CON, we covered the Lockpicking Village, the Physical Security Village, and the Rogues Village, and the lockpicking that Lockpicking Extreme does at the Diana Initiative. So it was a really packed episode. Yeah, it was really amazing. There were some things that I didn't mind missing out, but I was kind of jelly. I did have friends get me some things, including a certain thing that will be a future episode on the show. They got me from there, so I can't wait for that. Otherwise, I am gunning, literally, probably in November or December, I'm going to start planning to finally attend DEF CON 31. You'll know because we'll make a big, I'm going to be making a big post about that, and I'm going to be bringing some other members. I also finally plan doing which, fun behind the scenes, core staff of DEF CON has always asked me, hey, like with 303 and 801, are you going to be doing a 201 party? And before we canceled this year, we actually were in talks of an exact venue, event, performers, activities, and everything for DEF CON 30, and of course that fell through really early on, but we still have the venue and contacts and stuff, so we're just reusing them for next year, and I think it'll be really fun. When we particularly announce that party meetup, you guys will be amazed and shocked, but you're also not going to be surprised knowing our group. But yeah, we're going to go on another like 10-30 second break as I move the camera around, and I'm going to do the sign off. So with the current time and skill that I have, a limited amount of time, I couldn't open this, so I guess they did have a good idea to clip this. You know, it's never, again, here's the thing about lock sport. Yes, there are challenges where we want people to specifically pick a lock, or certain bypass challenges, or the Gringo Warrior as it used to be called, and things like that. However, as we always say, if you can get the lock open or you can bypass the security, you've won. So I'm not going to diss someone for going TSA mode and say fuck it and snap the cable, because ultimately they wanted to get the lock off, and that got it off. So, and it's honestly the harder method in my opinion than picking a master lock, is to actually break one physically for a lot of them, not for the 1 through 5s, but for a lot of them. So congratulations to anyone who thought of this. But at my current skill level, at the current time, couldn't get this open. I'm going to keep working on it. When I get this open and the bike lock open, I know that's 2 for 2 loss with wafer locks done by master lock. But again, it's late at night. I'm an idiot. I have a certain skill level. I will be working on this, and hopefully I'll get it open. I can, just like with the brains dying. We just covered these about a month and a half ago. Just like with the dimple locks, I will then tell you the bullshit that I did not know that allowed me to finally learn it and open it. So just give it a couple of seconds. I'm going to move the camera open, and we're going to do the whole ending. But thank you for watching this portion. I will be right back in a moment. See you guys in a bit. Okay, if everything goes right, we should be back here. Let's go to this. Yes, I'm back, except the camera's too high now. It is too high. It also describes me. Not right now, but in general. So, just catching up on chat real quick as this is going to be our ending portion here. Let's see, hell yeah, was not a fan of the new venue, but it was a great time. Well, no, they've been to Caesar Palace before. All those hotels, except I think maybe one upstairs floor that they use, they've been there before. In fact, kind of the problem is that I remember the first time they did the hybrid back after DEF CON Safe Mode, they were in one hotel because that's how small it was. And this time I think they were like in 4 hotels, and it was still small because before the pandemic, DEF CON literally took the entire strip. And in fact, if I remember correctly, they were in negotiations to use the the Vegas version of the Javits Center that now the esports charity games during Hacker Summer Camp are being run on. And and then the pandemic happened. And that's right when the stadium was being built too. Hey, one day, plus there's all the online portals. If it makes you feel any better, I was hoping to teach something at DEF CON that people were requesting for me about in the lockpicking village that I was hoping to do remote on, but this year was the year, understandably, that they wanted everything in person. So we couldn't do it, but that's why they're like, okay, we're going to reschedule that, and we'll try to fit you in next year because we want that talk. I'm not going to spoil what it is. It's going to be kind of obvious if you think about it for a bit or when you see it. Just reading up on the last bits of chat before we end this stream. Last year in DC 27, everything was more compact. Yes, it was. I actually very much enjoyed safe mode. It was way more hectic than normal. It's already hectic during DEF CON because I'm usually the one sitting at command center here retweeting everything, and of course I do the guides. And this year was 14 fucking guides between July and August. But everyone used them, and I got lots of praise and thanks for putting all their stuff in there, and people were like using them religiously, especially with some of the smaller cons and activities people didn't know about and stuff like that. So I'm so proud. We're still going to do this next year. In fact, I'm not only going to do videos, but thanks to a suggestion of a Uber Elite Hacksaw that I know gave me a really good idea of being able to do a wiki, kind of like what Hope does. So we have more cool stuff, even digitally, to do next year that I want to do. Let's see. Hopefully I'll be getting into OSSECCon. Yes. Question, real quick before we end the stream, Dark Arts. Does RuxCon still exist? Because there's 2 that are in your region that I know of. There was KiwiCon and RuxCon. KiwiCon was in New Zealand, and then RuxCon is supposed to be in Australia, and they also used to have their own meetings based on their own like sections of Australia. I don't know. I forget. I think that you guys call them states. I don't know. This was years ago. I was like 22. I have no idea if they're still around. I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't. Kind of like how I wish Nauticon was still around, but it isn't. Stuff like that. Things change. Stupid Pacific Ocean being so big. Yeah, again, I'm on the mainland. I'm on the East Coast in the United States, and I still can't make it to overhead. There are literally some conventions where I'm like, I could travel to the next state over, and I'm just like, fuck it, I'm lazy and I like money. Or it's like, it's like a hacker meetup in Philly, new video game came out. Fuck you guys, I'm playing the video game. Like, that always happens. It's probably going to happen this month. But yeah, actually, real quick, I just want to go on. It's been 2 seconds for this. Let's see. RuxCon Australia. I want to see if these bastards are still around. Okay, so they seem to still have their URLs working. Okay. I don't think they've been around because the last thing that I see on here is from 2017. So I think they probably stopped. Unfortunately. Although, one last thing. KiwiCon. I saw 2022, so that's probably they're probably still around. Let's see. They were on hiatus, and now they're on a different thing. Interesting. Well, anyhow, after looking at that, that was the end of our. This is the end of our show. Because I really need to get to bed. So again, we tried to get at this thing that was cut. I found this on the road in Journal Square. Unfortunately, I was not able to pick it open, so I guess it was a good idea that they did snip it. But I'm going to keep working on this, and I'm going to see if I can find the particulars to this thing. I'm pretty sure it's the tensioning. I probably lack the tools and the correct tensioning and technique for the tensioning to open this and the other bike lock. But yeah, we kind of autopsied this guy, found out same problem as the bike lock, and it's amazing what you can just find literally lying around. Again, the best lock, that high security lock, literally found in the middle of the highway when I was walking across it, things like that. So yeah, that's the end of our show. Thank you, Binary Badger, for sticking around. Thank you for the thanks. I hope you learned stuff. Thank you, Shirel, for donating the $20 for the National Abortion Federation charity drive that we're doing until the end of October. Real quick, as the last thing, if you want to either scan that QR code or go to the widget if you are on Twitch and donate now or even anytime, even when we're not streaming, or go to this link that I just posted in chat. Just right now, you can go and donate, even if it's just $1 or $3, to get closer to our $400 goal. It's going to go to, helping boots on the ground and legally the fight against the whole stupid SCOTUS ruling, because United States government. So we have all of that going on. And even if you don't have a uterus, not only do you probably know someone who's really fucked right now, literally and figuratively, because of all this, but you also have expanding, more invasive privacy. I just screwed up there because I'm trying to do a preliminary thing, setting up so that we can do this Twitch stuff. Less privacy and security for everybody, especially with the expanding of the Patriot Act, thanks to SCOTUS's stupid ruling in the United States. Never a good thing. Also, even if you're not from the United States, I know from constituents in the UK and stuff, even though we're stupid, other countries still look at us for guidance for some reason. So they are already looking at our SCOTUS ruling and being like, wow, the United States is in hell because of that. We like that idea. Let's do that ourselves. So this is going to cause a domino effect. Just kind of like how when we invaded Iraq, now other countries are doing their own invasions, including the recent one with the Russian military exercise, aka the Ukrainian invasion. And so that set a precedent. Same thing when we've elected 2 or 3 dumb presidencies. Everyone decides they need to have a stupid leader too. And now this. So just note, this is just shit for everybody. And that's why we need people like at the National Abortion Federation and others to help fight for our rights, because that's what we have to do. We've always been doing this, but we have to do this now more than ever. And now that we have, since hackers built things like the internet and Tor and other communication vendors, it's even better to organize to be able to fight for our rights than we've ever had previously. So yeah. So that was it for the Master of Unlocking. Again, the next episode, I don't want to spoil what it is, especially since I'm setting up. It's something I've been wanting to do for a year and a half now. We were originally supposed to do this in June, but we're going to try to do it this month with me and a friend of mine, and it's going to be freaking awesome. If that happens, I'm going to tell you right now, since we're usually the first and third Sunday of the month, I would normally say that's either going to happen. It would normally happen on the 16th, but we're probably going to do it on the 23rd. Whether it's the 16th or the 30th, I'm going to be on their schedule. That's one of the things that's set up. So it might be on a completely different date altogether. We will make an announcement on our social media and when our website goes up on our website and, of course, our blog when we do that episode. So don't worry about, I don't know what date it is. It's the third Sunday. I don't know if he's streaming, that sort of stuff. It's the same thing with their upcoming Crypto Barons, which would normally happen on the 8th, but my schedule's going crazy. It's probably going to happen on the 10th. Again, we will make an announcement for that when it happens. If you do want to check up on us, again, we're still redoing our website, but here is the link to our blog, which is at defcon201.medium.com, where you can catch all of our latest updates, including our upcoming meeting details. It's going to be Hacktoberfest this month. I'm so excited. Looking for a particular venue with that. I've been talking with them right now. I can't wait. You can also check us on social media. Our most popular one is on Twitter at DEFCON201NJ or on Instagram at DEFCON201. But we're on all sorts of things. We're on Mastodon, we're on Minds.com with those crazy people. We're on GitHub and all sorts of different things, including our different live streams such as Twitch, DLive, and YouTube, but you can still freely like, share, subscribe, and especially if you're on YouTube. If you're on there, click that bell, put all notifications on because YouTube is crap and they don't do that automatically. But I posted a link tree of a URL where you can find all of them together. And we're trying to use it more, especially since I know later this month we're going to be more involved with CTF stuff again, or capture the flag. But we do have a Discord. So until we get our IRC set up later this month, if you want to go to the Discord, I pop in there occasionally. I try at least once a week. Sometimes it's once every 2 weeks just because of how busy I get. But that's a place where you can chat with all of us in addition to our social media. So that's it for Master of Unlocking. Thank you for tuning in this episode. Hope you liked the logo. I hope you liked me trying to fail open this bike lock. It is way too late. I'm going to end the episode now, but stay tuned if you're on Twitch. We can't host streams after this week because Twitch fucking hates us. But we are going to raid someone on Twitch. So if you're on Twitch TV right now, stay tuned. I already found the person we're going to raid. They're doing really cool hacker stuff. You're going to love this person, okay? So I hope you say hi to them. That's the end of the show. Sidepocket from Master of Unlocking here at the amazing void of the Hacker Fortress, guarded by hacker cats that shoot lasers from their eyes. Hack the planet, Dirty Jersey represent, and remember how your live stream setup is, because if I had remembered that I have the machine directly plugged into the evil server that goes out to the hacker gods of the abyss in order to live stream, I would have reconfigured all of these times better. I guess I'm a stereotypical hacker in which most hackers are usually really good at everything but OPSET or recon. I'm good at everything except for remembering streaming setups and certain scheduling through my day. I can remember what routines go on with the computers, but I can't remember the last time I ate. So there you go with that. Have fun, everyone. Enjoy the music, and if you're on Twitch, say hi to whoever you raid. See you next time. Peace, everybody.